Welcome back to the All Things Sports Podcast. I'm your host, June. I'm here with my co-producer in the cut, Small Town EP.
Gang, you already know what it is.
What's
3
up,
up,
bro?
3 down. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, great, blessed, highly favored. You already
Love
know.
to hear it. Better than Justin Herbert's. It's always a special time when we have a guest or a special guest, a good friend. We got my boy J1 tonight. Neverrfold, the comedian, the clothing designer, the man of many
How y'all
talents.
doing out there? How y'all doing?
Hooper.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Man. He brought stickers, by the way.
Definitely had to come through, show y'all some of the merch, bring some stickers through.
Yeah.
I had to come see this wall in person.
You like it?
Yeah, I definitely like
Appreciate
it. That LeBron jersey.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's my favorite
That
part.
shit
Right
hits,
there,
right?
For sure.
Yeah, shout out to James for that one.
That's fire.
That's real.
clean.
I think
Yeah.
Dodger Stadium's always my favorite one. I always tell you.
Dodger Stadium's definitely my favorite one just because of the fact that, one, I took that picture,
That's dope.
and two, my parents are in the picture. So that's
pretty
it's a
cool.
fire picture. But I also fuck with the Dynasty Orioles because, you know,
Wow.
only so many teams are in there, you know, like a lot of these teams ain't really do nothing in the NBA, you know, what are we, 75 years?
As long as I see a
76
Laker
years in.
Oreo up there, I'm satisfied.
I see it right
Yeah,
there.
I see it.
So, yeah, and then obviously surrounded by goats is like the theme. If you haven't noticed, you know what I'm saying.
That's
There's a
dope.
lot of greatness, and then there's like the Mighty Ducks and shit. But I'm glad you're here with us today. You took the time to come out your week and kind of present what you got, what you've been working on. This is like, I know, your baby in a sense. You put a lot
for
of time
real.
into this.
A lot of time.
I know that when you were just kind of, I wouldn't say just starting off, because I know that this had to be an idea you've had in the works for years, and it's just right time. It has to be right time.
Yeah.
But as you started kind of getting a little more serious with it, I think I noticed, and I'm like, okay, he's starting to put some shit together, like,
Yeah,
and then
for
everything
sure.
he was kind of showing was going, it was up to par. So I'm glad I had to grab a shirt right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm not set right now, but if you can't see it, we got it right here. Neverrfold.
No.
On the back 23.
Yes, sir.
So what kind of made you get into clothing? I imagine before high school you've had this, or even in high school you've had this.
I would say it really started, I would say probably like I was around like 15 or 16. Like I tell people, like, I would go to the mall all the time and I'd just be like, you'll see a shirt that you like and you're like, all right, I'm buying this shirt to match these certain shoes.
Yeah.
And or I'm going in the mall just for a shirt to match these shoes. And like while you're in the mall, you're like, damn, I can't find nothing.
Right.
So after like a lot of trips to the mall, I'm like, I can't find nothing. Or I'll see a shirt and I'll be like, it would have looked better if they did it in this way. Or they should have left this cheetah print off, or the zebra print like is a bad touch. So I'll be like, you know what? I think I'm creative enough. I could make clothes myself and make things that I want to wear that I could see myself wearing. So once that idea started from there, it's just been a long time coming from just having ideas to actually doing it,
So
putting it into
you having the idea to actually drawing stuff out or going on Photoshop and mapping your ideas out to the point where now you're selling merch. You could get this stuff, I believe 9/23, right?
Yeah, right on the 23rd.
23rd. Is that Saturday?
I believe it's a Friday.
It's a Friday?
Yeah, so next Friday.
So payday Friday. Go shop,
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we'll
Perfect
have all the
timing.
information below so you guys can get all that. But, in the process from it being an idea to now it's actually merch on the table, peep the hats, bro. Like, the detail on the hats. You know what I'm saying? Play your cards right.
For sure.
But what was the most challenging part of this process you had?
Like I was saying, this process has been, I've actually had like numerous other lines that like I've always been trying. I would say the hardest part would just be like when you get hit with those roadblocks to keep going. Cause like sometimes like even like with any journey you have in life, like once you start and you stop it, it's so hard to get started again. Yeah. It's so hard to find that passion. Like, so like if you were like on a weight loss journey or weightlifting journey and you see all this progress and you stop working out, and you're like, damn, I just reverted to where I started and now I have to gain up all this energy to start again. So I would say it's just like those moments where you have those roadblocks and having to keep starting. Those probably be the hardest moments.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad you obviously got past roadblocks.
Yeah, definitely.
How can you explain, there's a process, there's roadblocks, but again, we still have your
it's right here.
So what
still
helped you get past that?
Yeah, it's still surreal to even see it because like I done had these ideas in my head or on Photoshop for so long, so to finally like put them into action and have them actually be physically right here in front of me is like amazing. But I would say how I get through the roadblocks is like I just take like the 1% like approach. So I'm just like every day I'm gonna get better 1%. So I just challenge myself.
That's the Colts way, right? Shout out to 1% every day. Let's go.
I would say yeah. So I just would tell myself, all right, I'm gonna go home and every day I'm gonna make at least one design, even if it's something I don't end up using. It's just me like working on my skills, me just putting it into action, just me just keeping those creative juices flowing.
You have like the story where you like warm up.
Yeah, exactly,
getting your vibe.
Exactly. And I did those stories just to challenge myself, just to because. This is what I like. These are like my ideas, but sometimes you want to see like what other people like and see if you could even execute it.
I've noticed that like myself personally, I'm open. I've always been open with like close friends to where I like hearing that opinion or outside opinions.
Yeah.
Seeing, I don't ever want to be. It's not about like I always want to be right, but it's like I don't want to be wrong per se. So I like to get everybody's opinion, but sometimes having a lot of opinions can kind of interrupt the flow. So it's a good balance to have, knowing that you can't do anything just yourself. Yeah. And it's good to have that outside perspective because you're also like keeping up with, what the streets are saying. Yeah. But at the same time, you have to have your own vision and
yeah, I would say like when it comes to like my creative process or anything like that, like I definitely do keep like a ear to the streets, or I slide through Instagram or look at music videos just to see like what people have on, like what styles are in, or maybe like what color schemes are in season, or what the case may be. But at the end of the day, is me. What do I like? Yeah. Sometimes I gotta turn all of that stuff off, so like I don't end up creating designs that look like someone else's or use too much of their influence in my own thing. So like I get inspired by other things, but I try to like turn that off so I can just have my own ideas come forward.
Organic. I like it. So that's something that's been, long time in the making. I'm glad to see you have it. Like I said, you guys can get that. Neverrfold. But this comedy thing that you started, is this something that's been a long time in the making? Is this something that you kind of just saw an opportunity to attack?
Man, I don't even know where it really started. I would say the first time I ever got on stage was in college. Yeah.
A while back you did get on stage.
Yeah, I had a friend and she was putting on like an open mic event at my college, and I was just being a good friend. She needed some acts for the show. So I was like, all right, I'll do stand up. And I was like, so I had about a week to prepare. So I was watching videos on like how to do stand up, like looking at articles on how to do stand up, and they give you like little strategies like, oh, like have your friend sit in the middle of the crowd, so like when they laugh, laughter's contagious, and it'll spread. So even if
joke gotta hit a little
bit. So like definitely you gotta. I would say the jokes though, to be honest, the jokes are, I would say like a smaller percentage than you think, like maybe like 30% of it. And I would say like a big percentage of it is like your delivery, so like.
Which I'll say you have that, you know what I'm saying?
I would say that's probably like my biggest strength as far as like doing stand up, doing comedy, be the delivery. Because like if you slap someone with like or if you hit someone with an open hand, it's gonna sting. You're gonna hit them, Right. But if you hit them with like a closed fist, that delivery is different. Sure. So I would say delivery is probably like the biggest part of it, the biggest thing I've been working on the most.
Yeah, you had this one joke I was listening. I think I've seen you twice or three times, maybe twice, but. You was like, you know that motherfucker that swipe up on every story. Swipe up on every story.
Yeah.
Oh, you just pop some grease on it.
Said put some Aquaphor on it. For real.
Said, motherfucker, that's me.
For real, yeah.
Nah, that was a good one. But E, by the way, if you feel free to chime in, you know what I'm saying. If you got anything for J1, but
yeah, actually, I do have a question. The brand looks very nostalgic to me. Did you do that purposely?
Yeah, definitely. When it came to like, so like one thing I do. That's like a good question.
Sorry to cut you off. It reminds me of like one Superfly.
Yeah.
The font, right. NBA Street Volume 2, the font, right.
Yeah.
And then also reminds me of like NBA Street and like the sense that some of those like players that you didn't even know, the ones that were just like on the court, like they would probably wear like a, you know what I'm saying, like a fresh hat like that. Like I like how nostalgic it looks. I was wondering if that was something that you did.
Yeah, I think that so like a part of my creative process is like I will have like, all right, I'm like I want to use this tagline, play your cards right, because it's like a tagline to my brand. So I'll put it on a mock-up of a trucker hat in many different fonts.
Right.
And then, so let's say I do it in 50 different fonts, and then I'll start narrowing it down. And then this one just stuck with me, like it's like a groovy, like that 70s show. That was like what I was thinking, because like I came up watching that, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do something like groovy type thing. That's definitely what I was thinking. So, and, you know, truckers are really like a nostalgic type of thing, you know, like just like how snapbacks came back around when fitted hats was a thing. So I feel like trucker hats is kind of in now. So it kind of went hand in hand. Like trucker hats is a little bit vintage, and this text is a little bit vintage. So I think it went hand in hand.
Nice. It is week 2 of the NFL season. I am interested in talking about it and recapping week 1 because it was a very, very eventful weekend. We saw kickers losing their jobs. We saw kickers losing games to teams. We saw head coaches trying to make kickers heroes with 64-yard attempts. And Saquon Barkley is back. Unfortunately, you know, it's a Daniel Jones Giants, and they had to squeak out a win in Tennessee. Nonetheless, they did get the win. They were competing to the end, and Saquon ran for over 150 yards. So that was kind of one of the things that I was happy to see this weekend. What was any kind of standouts, point outs that you guys want to bring up from Sunday football?
I was really impressed with the Dolphins. You know, like they really look like a different team, like especially defensively. Yeah. Like the Patriots couldn't do anything, and like the Patriots are always been known to like be like a run first team. Yep. And man, the Dolphins, they really looked impressive, like defensively. Like you can't throw on them because the secondary is ridiculous. Yeah. And now it's looking like you can't run on them because now the D line, they got a defensive touchdown too, I believe. Yeah, that was Ingram. Yeah, so
that was on Brandon Jones' strip sack. That was actually really
good. And I love the way that their head coach just showed confidence into it. I think that's one of the biggest things he was missing with Flores. Like, man, I got confidence in you to go for it on 4th and 7.
Yeah, because I mean,
and we got a touchdown.
Like before the year, it was like it's 2 of the starters, and it was like, well, not answering it anymore. I told you guys once, like. You ask Mike McDaniel, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, this is clearly."
Like I love him. I can't wait to work with him. Yeah.
I was watching what is that called? Mic'd Up. You know, the Mic'd Up for the recap of the week, and there was like Tua's walking down on the field without his helmet, and Mike McDaniel comes up behind him. He's like, "Damn, you're that good that you don't got to walk with your helmet. You don't got to carry your own helmet." So it's like you do see that relationship with them. Yeah. But yeah, the Dolphins had Mac Jones under pressure all game. Yeah, he limped off the field.
They was on his back for real.
And they held them to 7 points. And for the Patriots, it's alarming because, you know, they're sharing the offensive coordinator play calling role with 2 different coaches who aren't the best play callers in the league. And Bill Belichick, like you said, it's a run team, it's a defensive team, and Devontae Parker and Jacoby Myers might not be enough, you know, weapons for Mac Jones to be able to really put points up. You score 7 points versus the Dolphins, you're gonna have trouble late in the season.
Yeah, I'm not really sure like what offensively. I'm not really sure like what their plan is like. Like what's their identity? Like, are we a run first team? Like
they should be. I mean, Damian Harris is a really good back. He's a 3-down back, but. It is week 1. I'm not trying to overreact.
Yeah, exactly.
However, it's just not promising, and we don't see a sustainable, you know, offensive attack from them, if you will.
So. Yeah, I think, and if you want to be run first, you got to have the threat of a pass. All good running teams have the threat of a pass.
Mm-hmm. And Mac Jones can throw the ball.
Yeah, he can throw.
But it comes down to those weapons. And,
but those weapons, if they don't get separation,
But for the Washington Commanders this is their first game as the Commanders, right? So they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. I guess the NFL wanted to go nice on them. They were like, we'll give them the Jags. But it was ironic because the last time Carson Wentz, who's the new quarterback of the Commanders, played the Jags, they lost. It was the Colts versus the Jags in Jacksonville. And that was the whole reason that Carson Wentz is on the Commanders now, because the Colts wanted to get rid of him. So it was good to see him come out and throw for over 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, granted 2 interceptions. versus a Jacksonville defense who is young and talented, but nowhere near elite. And Trevor Lawrence, on the flip side, it's we see good and bad from him. And like there was one overthrow to Travis Etienne that he had missed, and it's just like I feel like if this was Clemson, you make that throw.
Yeah, definitely.
You get to the NFL, we're going to see the struggles, but 24-42 for only 275 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. I mean, they just went and signed Christian Kirk for X amount of money.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have to put some shit to work because Doug Peterson, granted he's a new coach there, and it is Jacksonville, so it's the worst team in the league, literally. But
I think you got to give him a little bit more time.
You have weapons: Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I mean Christian Kirk, I was actually surprised. I think he went over 100 receiving yards.
Yeah, he had 117.
Yeah, so I think they're building something for them to. I think they were pretty much in control of the game, and then Washington started to drive late. Washington's weapons, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Rookie Jahan Dotson. Terry McLaurin obviously got a touchdown in there.
Samuel too, I believe.
Curtis Samuel got the first touchdown.
Gibson is a receiving threat, running threat. McKissick as well. Robinson when he comes back.
They got some talent on that.
Thomas at tight end. They got some pieces.
I'm happy to see Logan Thomas back and healthy because he had that knee injury. Yeah, McKissick is still.
Carson Wentz has been spoiled his career. I'm not gonna lie.
Around
He's been spoiled. You had arguably the best running back in football last year.
With a great offensive line.
Now you have a young, speedy talent all around you.
With the Eagles, he had big receiver Alshon Jeffrey.
He was damn near MVP candidate, right?
And they had that was the year that
they won the Super Bowl. Yeah, so
Jay Ajayi was balling.
Yeah, so he's been spoiled with talent around him.
It was good to see them get the win, though. Let's go to Baltimore, or New York, I should say. They played in MetLife, right?
Yes, sir. That's my squad, them Ravens.
Cameraman, shout out to Kev, by the way. Shout out to Rachel. Appreciate you guys always. But 24-9, unfortunately, buddy. I mean, Lamar Jackson threw for under 250 yards, and they ran the ball for under 100 yards. Still managed to get the 24-9 victory, and it was just that the Jets' offense couldn't put the ball in the end zone.
I mean, you don't want a game where Joe Flacco throws the ball 59 times.
Yeah, you don't want any quarterback to throw it 59 times.
He's
to be honest, something's wrong.
We're throwing like a rookie out here.
If Mahomes throws 59 times, they might have 7 touchdowns. But I think it just really came down because I think Jets had maybe almost 500 yards of offense, but for you to do all that and not get in the end zone.
It was nice to see Lamar Jackson in this one just get a easy break. Came back from an injury last year. He didn't play as good last year totally. So for him to come and show that he still has that, that accuracy and he can make the throws that he needs to so that he can get his contract. Because if it ain't y'all, it is going to be somebody else. So what are your thoughts on this Lamar Jackson deal? Obviously, they're going to, wait till the end of the season now that week 1 came, but he deserves the bread, right?
Yeah, as a fan, I'm disappointed that they couldn't get that deal done because when you look at the stats, because that's what a lot of these contracts come down to. You compare him to his counterparts, and you say, okay, well, this person got this money. How do we compare his stats? How do we compare winning, intangibles, whatever the case may be, off the field, whatever the case may be? But this is a guy who's won maybe 70% of his games through 4 seasons, unanimous MVP. In the playoffs literally every year. And for a guy who supposedly can't throw and we're only a running team, the Ravens are only a running team, they're always top 5 in offense every single year. That's a guy you need in your locker room.
Yeah. No off the field issues.
Yeah, no off the field issues. And it's disappointing that they didn't want to pay him.
I mean, they obviously offered him the 230, 235 or so, and he turned it down. But, I mean, rightfully so. Dak Prescott played this game as well, and he waited. He got franchise tagged. The number's going to go up, too.
Yeah, it's only going to go up.
It's going to go up. You might as well lock him in when you can now. It's always cheaper sooner. So, knowing that you have a franchise quarterback who is on his rookie deal, who's already won an MVP, who's took you to the AFC Championship, and as you said, like he has a lot of winning success. He doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens don't lose a lot of games, and last year they had to deal with no wide receivers and like 2 or 3 running backs hurt. Is that what you're basing this off of? So I don't want to distract the season of the Ravens because at the end of the day, you guys are in a tough division. We saw a battle with the Steelers and the Bengals. And then we know that the Browns will eventually get their quarterback back. So late in the season, tough games.
Yeah, they just got to hold it on.
So
I definitely think he earned that contract, though.
Like I said, if not with y'all, the Dolphins would be glad to sign him.
Yeah, and I think one more thing I would say is that, like, the Browns really put them in a tough position because they gave Deshaun, I think, $250 guaranteed. So now when Lamar can't even get that, then in his eyes, it's like
personal.
Yeah, like I haven't done anything off the field. I haven't had any issues.
Maybe I'm about to hit the missile.
Yeah, it's like I damn near win every game I play in. Like I take him to the playoffs. Like
and Deshaun
MVP.
missed the whole season.
Yeah,
he literally sat out.
He's been injured.
Wow.
He missed the season due to off-field issues. He's gonna miss another 11 games, and he still got $250 guaranteed.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, kickers, dictated a lot of the games this past weekend.
Yeah.
And Colts specifically, we had a chance to take a win in overtime versus Houston on the road. 20-20 game, missed a 40-something yarder. That's supposed to be bread and butter. And that gets you kicked off a team.
Yeah.
Game losers. That's what they call them. So game tires.
Yeah.
Fuck. Who wants to tie? That's obvious. Like that's been one of the most annoying things I see in the NFL, like a tie. And then the 0-0-0, like 3 numbers on your record should never be. So when it's my team, that's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I think that might come back to bite the Colts because, like, I feel like the AFC just got better because you got Russell, you got Devontae going to the Raiders. Like, it's just like that tie is gonna be a problem.
It
later.
could for sure in the AFC, but at least in the division, it came where we both tied. Jacksonville lost, and Houston and the Tennessee Titans lost to the Giants. So that was another kicker.
That definitely helped.
I think that's Ryan Suckup who missed that one. Then you had the Saints who won, by less than 3.
Bengals, Steelers, they both missed kicks to potentially win, and then the Steelers converted, but that sucked because McPherson, like, for him to be missing kicks,
he got
like,
blocked too.
Yeah, he did get blocked.
And Boswell missed, yep.
Yeah.
That's true. That was a bad snap. It was like a lofty snap. Took too long. Minka Fitzpatrick was able to kind of just. I mean, it's effort too. Don't get me wrong.
That was a big boy play right there.
Like we said, effort with the onside kick.
Yeah, effort.
Chiefs game.
Yeah.
I think the Rams, or not the Rams, but the Chargers should have had somebody around there. Hey, I mean, you dictate the effort, but going into next week, my fault. What you was about to say?
I would say, do you think it was too harsh for the Colts to cut Blankenship?
Nah, hell no. He's missed too many kicks for us. He's missed way too many kicks for us. And when he was out and we had Mike Badgley, he was consistent, I would have rather kept Badgley. I like Rodrigo, but his leg is weak.
Yeah.
So he's like, the short kicks, he'll hit them accurately, but those long kicks, he has to kick the ball too hard. He don't got control over it. And then, to me, there's always a pressure. Like, I'm never confident when he's kicking it. So I was waiting for it. As soon as he kicked it, I was like, bro, cut this, man.
I would say, based on, like, last season,
swear to God,
the way the season ended, like, honestly, you guys had the formula to make a deep run in the playoffs, potentially even challenge to be in the Super Bowl. So I think with all of, like, those mishaps, like, I feel like you guys are, like, no nonsense right now. You like quarterback not getting it done, gotta go. Kicker not getting it done, you gotta go. Like, they're not playing at all.
What I will say, though, is that this is something that we should have taken care of in the offseason. I don't think he necessarily earned his job and the right to be our kicker. We've gone through up and down seasons at this position for the last two years or so, and we just kind of let it go, and this is what happens. You lose games, or technically you don't win games.
Yeah.
When not everybody's up to par, especially special teams, and we saw special teams play a big role factor in a lot of these games. But shit, I'm blanking out. But there was one specifically. Oh no, that was the
Denver game.
Football in general. But the FSU LSU game, special teams can lose you a game.
Yeah, for sure.
But
knows.
Wrapping up week 1, Monday Night Football. Russell Wilson goes back to Seattle gets the mixed emotions, but mainly boos.
Yeah, I
You
was
gotta
surprised.
expect it. Nah, you gotta expect. I mean, okay, I feel you.
I don't know. He won you a Super
I
Bowl.
feel you. Show some respect. Like Peyton Manning ain't come back to
Yeah.
Indy and get booed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's obviously
that's tough.
Peyton Manning,
Yeah,
not Russell Wilson. But at the same
gotta
time,
show him
like
some
you said,
love.
He won
he
a
took you to
Super Bowl
2,
for
right?
He took you to
1-1.
2, yeah, back to back.
Damn, they should have
you
won
to
2.
Mm-hmm.
So
Shoulda. Who know what happened?
Denver had 2 fumbles on the goal line.
yeah.
And a pick.
So, yeah, Pete Carroll was probably like, see why.
Oh my goodness.
And a fucking
funny.
pick.
Broncos really
See
shot
what?
themselves in the foot.
That's hilarious. So they did shoot themselves in the foot. Jerry Jeudy, by the way, shout out to him. He was on Monday Night Football balling out
Yeah.
and showing that he's a little faster than he was last year.
Yeah, he really. When he caught it, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
nice little catch. And he started running.
Took
I'm
off.
like,
Took
oh,
off.
he really got motor. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah. I definitely didn't expect that from him.
Russell Wilson didn't have a bad game. He was controlling the offense. He was able to drive them
Yeah.
downfield. There were some stall out drives. There was the blunders at the goal line. So there was a lot of bad team football that
Yeah.
lost them this game.
A lot of delayed games. I don't think he's not used to that being on that side of the noise in
Right.
that
At
stadium.
12,
man.
yeah, that's 12.
Yeah, man.
The thing is, they still had a chance.
Yeah.
And they could have let it stay in Russell Wilson's hand. They let the clock wind down from like a minute to 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Call timeout. And on a 4th and 5, they go for the field goal instead of letting Russ let Russ cook.
I think one of their biggest mistakes was I think they had maybe like a minute and some change, and the clock was running. It was running, but you have 3 timeouts. Like, whether you're gonna kick it or go for it on 4th and 5, like, call timeout,
Yeah.
figure it out. Like,
This is why you
yeah,
for Russell Wilson.
yeah. This is like you
Kevin-
call timeout.
Kevin's
Talk
hung
about
on
it.
that. Kevin's hung
Yeah.
on that. You got Russell Wilson, paid him the extension so that you could.
Group chat right after.
So that you could,
immediately fired.
You don't fire the coach week 1.
I do.
Nah,
That's
week one.
egregious,
You're gonna
though. Like,
set-
come
you're gonna-
on.
It is egregious, but you can't set the tone to be. All right, well, now we're a team that fired our coach going into week 1, going into week 2. And, just because you lost to the Seattle Seahawks, who played good. Geno Smith came out there and, flat in the second half. They scored no points.
No points.
Their offense really couldn't get moving, but the defense played good in the second half, and their offense in the first half was enough to keep them, slow and steady. Jamal Adams comes out of this game with a torn quad, though. So
Yeah, they're gonna lose him. So.
Early too. Early.
It was probably like second quarter or so
Yeah.
when he tried to go for a pick and the ball hit him in the face mask.
We can't. The Seahawks still they did enough to win, because like DK and Tyler Lockett, those guys can still play,
Yeah.
So they're gonna be in those games just off the strength of those two. They run it a little bit too, so
I was a little surprised
Yeah.
to see how good Geno started the game.
yeah, it
off.
was
Nah,
12
for
for 12 to
sure.
start.
You
so.
gotta imagine the confidence was gonna be there because the crowd's booing Russ. He's like, yeah, they rocking with us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there had to be that. And Geno's been here before, as far as having to play in a step up moment, and try to be the guy for the day. He's played that moment before.
Yeah, I think
so.
Geno's just been waiting for his turn to like really get a true chance to start, because he's always been like, all right, coming in relief of somebody, or just his rookie years, or his beginning of his career, like where he was really just like in a bad situation. Now he's
Yeah.
like, all right, I get
They
a
are
team
gonna
from the
have to
jump.
Turn that up though, like that's not going to sustain and win. They got San Francisco coming up next week, and
Yeah,
No, that's
we
what's
saw
up.
San Francisco lose, but at the same time, conditions were really bad for your first NFL start, right? Trey Lance, first NFL start. That's bad conditions. So, I want to see him at home. It's going to be a beautiful day in San Jose or Santa Clara. I believe they play in Santa Clara.
hopefully they get Kittle back, incorporate Debo and Ayuk a little bit more, and then Trey Lance got a lot done running, over 50 yards running. I think he converted something like 8 first downs.
I don't really want to look at last week.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you watch film, Seattle's going to obviously see it and see where the Bears defense was able to capitalize on young rookie mistakes, but at the same time, it's like that field condition in Chicago
Yeah.
was like, I've never seen that before.
Yeah, you
know
can't
what I
really
mean?
judge too much off of that, because
And
it's just like we're taking whatever
Justin
we can
Fields,
get.
Like he didn't have a great game. You know what I mean? It was like who's gonna have a better backyard football game and which defense is gonna come out a little harder. There was that one play where Justin Fields kind of ran out the pocket and threw it across field, and they ended up scoring. So I'm not taking anything away from Trey Lance in that first career start performance. I want to see him at home versus a team like Seattle, and the ability to know Jamal Adams too, right? So there's a big chance he gets that first win of his career. Another game that I wanted to talk about though was Miami-Baltimore, right? So last 2019 I think it was when Lamar came down here.
Yeah, last season.
5 touchdowns. That was last season.
Oh no! Okay, I
touchdowns.
see what you're talking about. Yeah, 2019.
And lit it up.
Yeah.
Last year was like the Robert Hunt game when he scored the touchdown on Thursday night or so. Or
it was a Thursday night game.
Halloween, I think.
Was it Halloween? Could be. They put up that plaster of Robert Hunt doing a flip in the Hard Rock Stadium so fast. But this year it's going to be way more level, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
Tua came out, had a pretty good start. There was some plays. Obviously, we saw that the throwing is questionable, but at the same time, we saw him make some really, really nice throws. That 4th and 7 that you talked about earlier was an accurate throw. And
just the confidence to go for it on 4th and 7, and just a regular slant that goes for a touchdown.
Did you hear what he said today, though? Did you hear I think it was today or this morning or yesterday. Basically, he was explaining how he's really small and he can't always see over the top of the line. So, like, it's about spacing, and he needs his guys to get in space windows, that he's like, if I don't see you, I can't get you the ball. So you have to get in the space that I see you so I can pass you the ball.
Got the perfect guys for it.
But it's crazy that, you have a starting quarterback. That's obviously the reality of it, but at the same time, it's like, damn, that's the risk you take when you take a 5'10", 5'9" guy.
Yeah, that is true.
Who's lefty.
But usually those shorter guys have more arm talent, a little bit more accurate.
Yeah, they got to.
Like Drew Brees, yeah.
That's true. But what are you looking for in this game from Baltimore to kind of take out this win from Miami at home?
I would say, especially like compared to like last season, I think Miami, they were able to sack Lamar 4 times last year, and they were really they blitzed them pretty much every play because I feel like our receivers weren't able to get much separation, and we were so banged up in the backfield that we couldn't even really run the ball. Hopefully, J.K. Dobbins plays this week. I love what Duvernay and Bateman did last week. They were able to get big plays, big for you. Yeah, so I think our receivers will be able to get better separation this year, so they're not able to blitz as much. And then I think Lamar he's gonna take off a little bit more. I mean, Holland chasing him down last year. That's probably gonna be the go-to again this year. Yeah. So I mean, he's a good guy to spy with, but if you're spying with your safety, then we're gonna have some chances over top. Hopefully, Bateman can get some separation.
How did the Dolphins beat the Ravens? They don't?
No, I don't think that they do. I think this is a 1-1 first 2 games. And I think that the Ravens they're coming to take care of business. I think Lamar's on like a mission to prove why he deserves that bread. If I'm not gonna get it this year, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and y'all gonna pay me. Y'all gonna make me the highest paid quarterback in the league next year, and I'm gonna show you why you need to do that.
I don't know, man. My thing is like, there's just this new energy in Miami, right? And there's a lot of talent on offense. The Ravens run the ball better than more than 3/4 of the league. Even more so than that. But last week, they did struggle just trying to dominate running the ball. So, like you said, J.K. Dobbins isn't back. And you're going to need a guy like J.K. Dobbins if you want to open up any type of passing lanes with this Dolphins defense. So, I'm looking forward to the young Bateman versus Howard, right? Because Bateman had a good week last week. And a good game last week. And then I'm looking forward to Tyreek Hill just still getting active. Still getting active. Because I think we just saw a warm-up last week of what he's able to do. And, Jalen Waddle with 70 yards and a touchdown, only 4 catches. It just shows you that these guys can take off in one play. So if you guys can contain, you guys being the Ravens, I know you're a Ravens fan. If you guys can contain, those two, it's harder. It's easier said than done, I should say.
Yeah, I would
It
say
should be
that
good for you.
Tua just has to have. I think they're gonna get after him a little bit more than the Patriots were able to. So I think you're gonna see Tua's decision making come to play. Like, is he gonna force things to Waddle and Hill downfield? I think the Ravens probably have a little bit better secondary than the Patriots as well. So this is gonna be a statement game for both teams, in my opinion.
This is also like, you guys played the Jets week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a real test? Is that a preseason game for you guys?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And the Dolphins are a team that played a divisional game. It was a really meaningful game for them this year,
Mm-hmm.
and frankly, that was a way better testament of how they're going to play throughout the season than you guys, right? So,
Yeah, exactly.
When we see you guys versus the Dolphins defense, who we know can be elite this season, it's going to be interesting what you guys bring out, especially showing that running the ball right now. You guys had the 30th most rushing yards last week. I'll let you know that. So there's that. But I'm expecting the Dolphins to compete. However, I like Lamar Jackson and the Ravens at home, just outscoring. I'm not Stephen A. Smith. I think if you score more, you win. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
But the other game I wanted to get into, I had it right here, so I apologize. But the other game I wanted to get into was Indianapolis versus Jacksonville, obviously, because I'm a Colts fan. But I'm interested to see the offense opening up more, right? We have Michael Pittman at wide receiver, and going into the season and even last season with T.Y. Hilton, quote-unquote, being our best wide receiver going into the year, we knew that we were going to need help at the position. We were going to need to really run the ball well to have success, and we did, thankfully. But this year, teams are obviously going to, hone in on that run game. Jonathan Taylor, the film is there, and how is Matt Ryan going to be able to utilize the quote-unquote weapons? Because if Michael Pittman is your best wide receiver, as good as he is, you're kind of lacking at that position. You know what I mean? Or you're not in your top 5 of wide receiver cores of the league at that point. So I'm just interested to see the play calling that we're going to have and the new designs that we have for Matt Ryan to be able to run this offense in. And I want to see Nyheim Hines, kind of open things up more for us, because if not, he's a trade asset and we can get pieces for him. We can get draft picks for him. But I think he's valuable to really use in this offense to open things up for your wide receivers, make it easier for them, and then just keep things clear for Jonathan Taylor. So it's Jacksonville, but it's on the road Jacksonville. We haven't won
definitely a
since
trap
2014.
game.
Exactly.
Definitely a trap game.
We're 0-1.
I think it'll be important for the Colts to start fast. You can't start down 10-0 again, or just start with 3 and outs constantly, especially if you're a team who likes to run the ball or you want to establish the run. You have one of the best running backs in football. So if you go down 10-0, 17-0, you're going to have to throw, you're going to have to force things, and you're going to have to put more on Matt Ryan's shoulders when he just wants to really be, at this point in his career, I believe he's just a game manager who can still make some of those big throws, but he's not, I wouldn't say he's a guy you want to rely on in the passing game, trying to put up 400 a game. I don't think he's at that stage of his career right now.
Definitely is.
So I think he just wants to rely on Jonathan Taylor run the ball, and he just makes those throws that Carson couldn't last year.
He needs to just be able to put the ball and make better decisions.
Yeah.
Make the decisions that Carson Wentz wasn't able to handle. One thing about Matt Ryan that I'm more appreciative of than the Carson Wentz is that he's content with dumping the ball off or getting a quick play.
Yeah.
Because Carson Wentz likes to make that big play. He likes to hold on to the ball and take sacks or fumble it. But Matt Ryan is just a little better decision maker in that regard. So 2 0-1 teams that have a lot to prove going into week 2, Dallas and Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, obviously, they should have won the game, right? There was like a walk-off touchdown to Jamar Chase, and the field goal was blocked, as we talked about.
Yeah.
They lost in overtime. But they lost, frankly. And Joe Burrow threw, 4 interceptions?
4 interceptions. Yeah, he didn't look good.
And 2 of them were, really questionable throws. For him to be able to have come back regardless and still, drive them downfield with less than a minute or less than 2 minutes and, get in the end zone, that was big. And we should be talking about it in the regard that they won the game. But,
but
it happened. And then Dallas, on the other hand, was just like, where's your offense?
Atrocious.
Right? And Dak Prescott was in the whole game.
Yeah, I would I guess cut the Cowboys a little slack because you're missing Gallup. He's supposed to be one of your top pass catchers, and then going against Tampa Bay defense, who is one of the more veteran defenses. D-line's gonna get after you, but they just couldn't get anything going. Like CeeDee Lamb, who's supposed to be your number one, he couldn't hold on to the ball. Like he didn't look explosive. Right. Zeke couldn't find any lanes.
Tony Pollard wasn't the name.
Yeah,
we were calling out. It's like my thing is Kellen Moore. Being an offensive coordinator there, I get it. Like you said, it's Tampa's defense. They have one of the best run defenses in the league. They just got Akeem Hicks from the Bears. Like they're adding to it.
That's great.
And it's a young defensive back core that's growing together. But at the same time, you have Dak Prescott, right? This is the guy that we were just talking about how much they paid him.
Yeah, exactly.
And the offense, as much as Amari Cooper left, and as much as Michael Gallup is hurt, you still have talent around.
Yeah, you still have a lot of pieces. Gallup,
to throw the ball to, and
Schultz had a big season last year.
It's not like they couldn't punch it in the end zone. It's like they couldn't move the ball.
Yeah, a lot of 3-and-outs, a lot of sacks.
Especially last year. Again, I know you had Cooper, but you threw for 500 yards versus the same Tampa Bay defense.
Exactly.
Right, so it can't be night and day. You could look at like, all right, well, you're not going to throw for 500. Maybe we'll rush for 120 and we'll throw for 3 something. But it looked very, very alarming. And Dallas at home, 4:00 game. This was probably going to be game of the week type of thing. But Cooper Rush is going to start, and frankly, not a lot of people care.
Yeah,
Cincinnati has to go 1-1, and the Dallas Cowboys. This could be. I seen memes that it was just like Dallas Cowboys.
Like season's over already.
Yeah, but it's true though because now you lose your starting
6 to 8 weeks for Dak,
and you're probably gonna look at close to 8 weeks. You want to make sure he comes back fully healthy.
Does Skip Bayless say Cooper Rush was better than Dak Prescott?
I wouldn't entertain that. I mean, he might have. I'm not gonna lie, but Cooper
I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys go out and get somebody.
Jimmy G.
They might want to call and see what Teddy's doing.
Teddy Bridgewater. You think the Dolphins will let up on Teddy? I don't think so. You think so?
I don't think they will because
for the right amount of draft picks.
Tua still, to be quite frank, Tua is still like a question mark. Not just because of his play, but he's had some injuries.
Because of his play too.
Yeah. So I mean, he's still a question mark. So I think you want to keep Teddy. I think Teddy's super valuable. But if the Cowboys say, we can't afford to lose 5-6 games during these 8 weeks that Dak's going to be out.
I hope they say that.
Yeah, Teddy come in, because Teddy's done it before when Breeze went down. Teddy come in, be ready.
You think they want Joe Flacco?
No.
Hell no.
They don't want Joe Flacco.
No, but just don't even want Flacco.
Yeah, I don't know why y'all don't play Mike White.
Flacco
I guess
can't
you had
move
to pay
at
the
all.
respect that it was the revenge game for Joe Flacco, but no, sir.
I think that Bridgewater and Dak have similar play styles. Like they can still drive the ball down the field, and they still a little bit more
I'm not gonna
mobile.
lie, Bridgewater. I don't see it. Like to me, he's not a valuable starter in this league. He's not somebody that's gonna go get you 4 wins out of 8. I don't think so. Especially with that Dallas offense that we saw. I mean, I'm not gonna say that he's not a better option than Cooper Rush.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I would probably
starting
prefer
Cooper,
a guy
or we
like
just
Jimmy G.
Or we just
Teddy Bridgewater.
or the Cowboys just throwing in the white flag. Like, we're not gonna go get anybody. Like, that's very
it's
unfortunate.
also going to be a high asking price. So if it's kind of outlandish, it wouldn't make sense. Then you got to let the season go. You can't let your future go at that point.
Yeah, especially if they need it. Like if the demand is high for a backup right now.
Right.
It's like, all right, give me a third. Give me a third for Bridgewater. They're like, all right.
Mac Jones had to play Miami. Now they got to play Pittsburgh. And we saw what Joe Burrow went through with a new upgraded offensive line.
God bless him.
Cameron Hayward was able to get those sacks. T.J. Watt, unfortunately, is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks himself. So
God bless him.
Yeah, Mac Jones is definitely on red alert right now. So,
but in their defense, Trubisky didn't play that great, and Pickett's a rookie, so you don't know what they're gonna do. So while Pittsburgh has all those offensive weapons, they might not be able to get him the ball because Trubisky does not play well. Hopefully, he picks it up. I think week 2 is when you see like teams be who they really are, and then you can determine from here. Yeah, after 1 week, it's just like yeah.
Plus, there's no film you're going off of or anything. You don't really know what offenses are throwing at you. So, I mean, the more time goes, we'll be able to see. But it's so awesome that we saw Justin Jefferson put up Randy Moss numbers in the first half versus Green Bay and Minnesota. I think Minnesota is going to have a nice push in that NFC late in this season. So that'll be interesting. They got Philadelphia on Monday night as a doubleheader because there's Tennessee, Buffalo, and then Minnesota, Philly. So that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I definitely like what Minnesota has going on. You know, Thielen, Osborne, Jefferson, and they're getting them the ball. They're not like they're not being shy about it.
Jalen Reagor.
Yeah, so they're not being shy about it. Cook is gonna do what Cook does. As long as Kirk Cousins just keep getting the right people the ball, make the right decisions. Yeah. The defense is getting after the quarterback. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, football Sunday's coming up. I think I'm good here. Y'all boys got anything else y'all want to add?
No, not right now.
Shout-outs you got?
Look out for Neverrfold, dropping Friday, September 23rd. Make sure you get something. If you can't get something, you're gonna miss out. You're gonna have to wait till the next drop.
No. Get something. Don't miss out.
Don't miss out.
Don't give them a chance to miss out. Neverrfold. All right, appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir. Always.
Each one.
You already know we out here.